Mary, it's great to have you here today. For those of you who have not met Mary, Mary McDermott is the winemaker at Township 7. And what is super exciting about Township 7 is the new Bubbles program. At least I'm super excited, and it might not be that new for Mary because she's been spearheading it for years.
Yeah,
But yeah, so welcome, Mary.
thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure being with you.
Well, it's great to have you here. It looks like I've caught you still in the office, which is probably you have
Yeah,
two, right? One in the vineyard and
I have three, I think. I have one here in the office, which is our lab, and then also in the cellars, and then in the vineyard. Oh, maybe more. Langley, South Langley as well.
yes. Yeah, I had the pleasure of visiting the South Langley tasting room and just got super well treated, like very hospitable team there, introduced me to all the bubbles, told the stories, and then proceeded with tasting, I think, Sauvignon Blanc and a few of the other styles. And the coast in the winter, I mean, it's gray and wet. So this was such a delight to
Yeah.
just pop into that beautiful white room. It's white inside.
Hmm.
And there were people coming and going. It was very busy. So, yeah, I think it's a great addition. Maybe it's always been there, but I didn't have the orientation around Fraser Valley tasting rooms, really. Shame on
Yeah,
me.
well, we actually started, the winery started there. So that's the original tasting room and winery. And then this location that I'm at now in on the Naramata Bench is they bought a few years later to help with, having more grapes and so on to be able to make wines. And so now the majority of the production is done here in Naramata. And then we do some production down in South Langley, but it's much smaller.
When were the vines planted in South Langley?
1999, I believe.
Wow. Wow. Well, they've developed that whole area now into a proper wine trail, which is very exciting. Domaine Chaberton and a few others are there. But before we get too far into this, Mary, I just want to read out of respect so that everyone understands a little bit of your background. And of course, the fact that you've won last year Wine of the Year, or what was it, BC's Top 50 for Sirius 2017 Bubble. And
Hmm.
I was one of the panel judges, and that was just such a delight to discover that wine. And of course, we taste blind, right? And then it was like, oh my God, Township 7. Woohoo! Very
Yeah,
exciting. Anyway, congratulations. Well done.
thank you. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, and wine lovers listening, I'm going to just read quickly Mary McDermott's bio. So, Mary is winemaker, sommelier, and explorer. I love this. Mary's journey began as a sommelier in Niagara's fine dining restaurant Inn on the 20, which I will be visiting, I hope, while finishing her Bachelor of Science in Enology and Viticulture at Brock, which, of course, is kind of the best of the best in Canada for education around viticulture and enology. Obtaining her first taste of winemaking, she landed on Niagara on the Lake's prestigious Stratus Vineyard as cellar hand, then assistant cellar master at Cave Springs. I've had Cave Springs Riesling. I want to say I had it about maybe 6 years ago. What a dream.
Hmm.
I think the soils are pretty special to be able to produce that kind of Riesling in Ontario, in that area.
Yes.
Mary joined Niagara's premier estate, yeah, Peller Estates, Trius
Trius.
at Hildebrand and 30 Bench.
Hmm.
Okay, a desire to pursue a lifelong dream of crafting quality wines. Pardon me. We somehow encouraged her to come to British Columbia, or maybe she did that on her own.
uh,
Well, and welcome to the Okanagan Valley. So, 2014, she moves to the Naramata Bench. Of course, if anyone has been to the Okanagan Valley and managed their way to Penticton and then stumbled onto the Naramata Bench, it is spectacular. And it is a beautiful winemaking region, small, mighty, compact. It's just and varied, lots of little micro pockets of soil. And anyway, went on. So when Sissy became the winemaker at Township 7 in 2014, then
Yes, that's correct.
amazing, amazing, which now has the two locations we were just talking about.
Yes.
And your gift is your sensitivity and finessing these small lot wines from what I can taste, as well as um, launching the bubble program, which is that 5 years old now?
Oh no. I've been making bubble here ever since I started here. Just the Seven Stars family of wines, which is what we have now, is probably uh, 5 or 6 years since we launched it as that. But originally, the first sparkling wine we made was called Seven Stars. And then when we wanted to expand and make different types of traditional methods sparkling, we decided to keep the name because it was fun and our club members loved it. And so we have Seven Stars is the line, and then each one is called something different. For example, the 2017 Sirius, the 2023 Ryel, and Aurora. So they're all stories uh, based upon uh, stars or, cosmic events, something
Yes.
like
Are you
that.
are you there? So this is the Aurora. I can It's kind of fading. There we go.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's hard to
and
see.
I
Yeah,
have the Aurora. It's a 2022 and the Rigel 2023 here.
correct.
And I think I've tried both. Beautiful. The Rigel is Riesling.
Riesling, yes, 100% Riesling. It was, yeah, the last time I saw you, we would have been drinking that at the BC Wine
Okay.
Awards.
Yes. And congratulations.
Thank
She's
you.
always being called to the front of the room, people.
Yeah, that one turned out really nicely. I really appreciate the mousse on this. It's very creamy on this. So we make it in a style where we only keep it on lees for 1 year so that you can really see the Riesling character in the wine still. And then the mousse, it just turned out, it was quite a warm year in 23. We had to pick very early, and the mousse just turned out great. Must have been lots of protein in the wine to be able to allow that to happen. So it's a
And of
really
course,
good vintage.
Riesling has such beautiful acidity to carry a bubble.
Yes.
And like, I don't know who first did it, but I think I learned somewhere along the line that Hinkeltrogen wasn't Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. Not that I knew anything at the time, but that it was Riesling. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God. Like, wow, the bubbles are too big, but it's
Yeah.
still, I don't know, you can still get it. And then I think Lunescence did a Riesling bubble, and then Friend did a Riesling bubble. And I'm just like, I am in love with Riesling bubble because you have a little more floral personality. You've got great acidity, and maybe to your point, yours has this beautiful mousse. Like, who doesn't want to linger over that? And
Yeah. The aromatic characteristics make it really nice, as you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
So I agree. They've been making sparkling Riesling in Germany for many, many years. So
right, right.
it's one of those things.
Tell me about Aurora.
Aurora is 100% Pinot Noir. It's a Blanc de Noir, so it's white, made from the red grape. Um, that one it's usually a favorite of the team because there's so much more texture and uh, depth in Pinot Noir when you make it into a sparkling wine. And we leave it on leaves longer, so more than 30 months to be able to get some of that autolytic character. So the bread dough and brioche characteristics on the nose, and then the roundness in the palate. So that's what that one is. And that one, the grapes came to us from Okanagan Falls
Wow.
in 2022.
2022. Well, so you obviously are laying these bottles down for, is it the same amount of time, or is it when you decide that they're ready, or is there like a structured program around?
Yeah, we have a pretty structured program, so knowing how long we want to age them and kind of keep a house style. So for those Pinot Noir, we tend to age them a little longer than we say our Blanc de Blanc we would, which is less time. And then, of course, the Sirius, which comes from the Fraser Valley, is grown at our South Langley location,
Yeah.
is much longer because it tends to be able to have that characteristic in the fruit, which allows for that extended aging.
Is that the fruit doesn't get as ripe, maybe, or it's a
Yes,
different climate. Yeah, something.
absolutely. So what happens there is we don't get the same kind of sugar buildup as quickly as we would get in the Okanagan where it's hotter. So the sugars and the acids are maintained more, but then the phenological ripeness or tannin ripeness comes together more closely with that in the Fraser Valley just because it's that little bit cooler. And the sugars don't race ahead. So we have to be careful picking in the Okanagan to make sure that we maintain acidity. We want lower sugars because we don't want high alcohol in our
Right, right,
bubbles. So
right.
that it's a bit of a, it's you have to be really careful when you're picking here.
That's why they need you. She just explained why she's required. I love it.
Thank goodness, eh? Thank goodness that I get
Yeah.
needed.
Like, how are you feeling when you kind of think about Brock University and university days and writing a thesis and
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Thank God it's behind me, really. I did learn a lot. It was a good program. I felt like I had a lot of work to do on my thesis. I felt like I was doing a master's and not
yeah.
just an undergrad, but that's okay. And
What did you
then
write it on?
it
Do
was
you
on
remember?
thermal taste. So it
What
was
does
a
that mean?
sensory project. So we took some results from previous research about uh, super tasters, which is people who are very sensitive to bitterness, and we are trying to see whether temperature on your tongue would incite flavors. So interesting.
And
Yeah, some people would say you would put a cold thing on their tongue and they think of acid or heat and they think of something else. So there was quite a bit of work involved with it, with just sensory panels and different kinds of things that we would put them through besides the thermal to see if there was a correlation between the temperatures and being super tasters, which there wasn't, but and other tastes. So it was kind
super
of interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, have you met Allison Moyes?
Yes, I was
Yes.
at, she was just behind me at school at Brock.
Yes, and okay, so she did her thesis on gender, taste. Yeah,
Pro- Probably with
I
Gary Pickering as well, I would
I love that. That there was a women proved to have more sensitive taste abilities, and
guess.
I think this also connects to why there is a finesse around women winemakers and the wines they make. And I don't try to like, it's not a blanket statement, it's for everybody, but like, I gravitate to these wines and then I find out after who made them. And in most instances, when I travel and all that, and it's so delightful to find that there's just something more. And so I'm super proud. I'm super proud of you for these beautiful bottles that we can now say are from, British Columbia, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Uh, as well as the fact that these awards we're winning are just kind of, well, they're elevating all of us. They're
Yep.
elevating you individually, but they're elevating all of us. So I feel like the last 10 years have really been this giant shift. I'm not sure if I'm accurate, but it just feels like I was talking to Leah Spooner. Are you familiar with Leah? She's in Ontario. She is a wine personality, a judge, a writer, and she was a judge at the All Canadians.
Hmm.
She said the greatest number of wines submitted from British Columbia and the most awarded from British Columbia. And she talked about some of them. And I just thought that was amazing because that's effort. We have to ship them there. There's a lot that has to go into us as a community going, okay, we're going to value all Canadians and we're going to make sure our wines are represented there. So, yeah,
Hmm.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
You got, Sirius got something.
No, Ryel got a gold this year from the All
That
Canadian.
I should have this like gold bracelet for this right now. It's like this is the right, and it's 2023, right?
Yeah,
And there are bottles available. They can go online and buy them. Can they see that? They're oh, there.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And please buy by the case, people.
6 bottle case. Yeah.
Uh, well, I listen. Uh, I buy wine. I don't buy wine anymore. I bought a lot of wine, and what I found out is that most of what I have left is red. And what's interesting is I tend to drink more white and I don't even know. And bubbles. I love bubbles. I went through my champagne stacks very quickly. So it's interesting because I thought I was a red wine lover.
You're a trendsetter. That seems to be the way that people are moving now. More people, sparkling is one category that is growing still
Yeah,
in wine consumption.
yeah,
And then it seems like people are switching to whites more
yeah.
now too. So,
And I wonder, they both tend to have less alcohol than reds like Bordeaux at 14.5% alcohol by volume.
yeah.
So I just don't know if that factors into it or if they're just lighter on the palate or maybe our diets are changing and it's just a bit more versatile to have bubbles. Bubbles, oh my God. Bubbles are very versatile.
Yes, they go with a lot of things.
We have a new oyster bar here in Kelowna
Oh, yes.
called
I know. She used to come and serve her oysters at the winery.
You must come and see what she has done. Syrah has made this into a happening spot. Not very big, does have a patio in the summer, but it's a beautiful room. And there's a real East Coast connection, which I love.
Yeah.
With the chowder isn't made with milk, it's made with pureed potato.
Hey, nice.
Yeah. And it was just kind of that idea, I think, for me, the kind of the light bulb moment where it's like, not everybody had cream, not everybody had tomatoes. I mean, if you were in Nova Scotia, you maybe had a lot of potatoes and you didn't have a lot of dairy, and that's just how that went.
Yeah,
But it's delicious. So anyway, let me know if you're coming to Kelowna. We'll have to go and have a bowl and eat some oysters. And it was just really delicious. They
sounds
did
great.
also well, and for bubbles, like honestly, when I go to an
Mm,
oyster bar, I don't think of anything other than bubbles and oysters, like really. So
yes,
yum yum.
I agree. I agree.
So okay, so
Rosé.
Rosé
Here's our rosé.
2025. This is a new release.
Yes, released for Mother's Day.
Oh,
So
all
it's
right.
predominantly Syrah. And
Hmm.
then the next variety is called Rotberger, which is a German varietal. It's kind of a pink colored berry. And then it has small amounts of other things in it, like a little bit of Pinot Gris, a little bit of Pinot Meunier, a little bit of Pinot Noir. But
So
it's predominantly Syrah.
in terms of making this, then do you like have barrels or tanks of all the different grape varieties and then you blend?
Yeah, that's usually the way it is. So we would have brought in the Syrah, which is a vineyard that we take care of here on the Naramata Bench. And we would have sent the grapes directly to the press and then pressed it off. And the same for the Rotberger, which comes from across the road from the winery. And so we would have sent it directly to press. And
So
then we
this
just
is,
press,
go
ferment.
ahead.
We
Yeah.
just ferment them separately, cold temperatures to try and maintain that aromatic quality we're looking for.
Well, first of all, it's cold. So I always find that challenges the aromatics a little bit because the temperature there is like maybe 6 degrees.
Yeah,
It's a fridge.
the fridge.
Um, but dry as a bone, dry as a bone, dry as a bone. Like it just beautiful and dry. And the flavors on my palate are like red cherry and red berry, and there's a little herbaceousness. There's this lovely kind of spine of something a little like not pithy, but it's got that little bit of texture maybe, but
Probably
love the
from
flavor.
probably from the Syrah will give it a little bit more depth. Sometimes a little meatiness or a little savoriness is with what you would expect from that.
So I do the BC Wine Tasting Challenge here in Kelowna at Sandhill Winery and different venues at Derek's Steakhouse. And anyway, I always say like, well, let's count the finish because people are learning how to judge wine. It's the idea is based on the Stephen Spurrier story, and it's a 20-point scale, and there's four things that we're judging. It's like appearance, which is I call eyes, nose, mouth, and harmony. And so when we're finished, we're always counting like so 1,001 and 1,002 and 1,003, just to get a gauge on like what is a long finish.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, my point being, long finish.
Nice.
Beautiful. What do you sell this bottle for? Do you know?
Oh, that's a good question.
Trick question.
I can tell you it is
13% alcohol,
it
which
is
is considered
28.97 plus tax.
28.97.
Yeah.
Well, I think Syrah Rosé too. Where are we in the world when we talk about Syrah Rosé? We're like Rhone, maybe?
Provence,
France, fancy France. You should be.
fancy, fancy Rome, Southern Rome. Yeah, Provence. Best rosés in the world, I think, come from there.
Well, what's interesting is we did two events that were the Rosé Challenge. And we did Provence, which is Grenache and Cinsault, and then sometimes a little Syrah and sometimes a little more Ved. The more complex ones had 5 grapes or 4 grapes. But you know, the kind of that classic one where it's like, well, there's not a lot of flavor and there's not a lot of aroma, and you're just kind of sitting down to a patio and it's gone in a second. Lovely, lovely, but I think we're spoiled here. We want flavor and we want some character, and we look for these lingering, and then what are we going to have with this? And oh, I
Mhm.
just love the berry notes on this. Wow, it's so good. So good. Anyway, I'm having a party soon, so this will be lovely tomorrow. Canada
Good.
Day.
Yep,
Woohoo! Canada Day. And it's the right color for Canada Day. It's
exactly.
not quite
Mix of
red, but
red. Yeah, not really red, but red
it
and white
works.
mixed together.
It works. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, thank you for that.
Well, you're
That's
welcome.
amazing. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about living in Naramata or like and working in Naramata. You've been at it there for what, a decade now?
Yes, so I moved here in 2014, near the end of what it was, September, I guess. Just got right into it, making wine right away. It's been great. I love living out here. The weather is fantastic. The people are great. And then it's a 7-minute drive to work, which can't really beat.
Ah, when you think about, I mean, I don't know about you, but I used to do an hour commute each way. Like,
Mhm.
what was that about? And I don't miss the coast. Like, I like White Rock where I live in the winter, but I really don't miss rushing around Vancouver in a car and looking for a parking spot. And
No. Yeah, White Rock is nice. 10 minutes from the winery in South Langley.
right.
So,
So
yeah, it's nice there.
when I was feeling blue, all I had to do was drive to the Township 7 tasting room. And
Yep,
man, what an uplifting moment that was. Like suddenly I had again reason to be in
wine
White Rock.
country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, wine country. So, you want to talk a little bit about terroir? what kind of sets Naramata and where you are and the vineyards you have apart?
Sure. So obviously, we talked a little bit about what was happening in South Langley. Um, it's
Oh,
a place where we dry farm because we don't need to irrigate, even though it is getting hotter in the summers and warmer. Uh, and it has quite the soils are really hold on to the moisture, so lots of clay. And there's a little bit of that too in Naramata, a little bit of spattering of gravel and stone. So we get really nice concentration of flavors. There's particular varieties that are really well suited to Naramata. Because we also are really, the lake has huge influence on the
yeah.
climates here. So, for example, when a lot of the cold damage happens in the vineyards in certain places, we don't see as much damage in Naramata as we would in other locations. So that's
Right.
kind of a very special
Yeah.
climate,
Yeah.
microclimate. And then we have another winer or vineyard in Oliver, and it's the north end of Oliver. And it's a very special place too. We grow Sauvignon Blanc, Merlot, and Cabernet Sauvignon there.
Wow.
Unfortunately, we did lose our reds in 24, but it's a place where it's rocky and the vines really have to fight to get their roots down. So it's a place that they love. They always like a little bit of stress, and it has very little disease pressure because there's lots of wind and it's sunny and beautiful all the time. And it used to give us the most lovely Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot. So we're looking forward to the return of that vineyard. Uh, it was always very fruit forward fruit. So lots of dark fruit and cassis on the Cabernet Sauvignon, and the
Yeah.
Merlot was always very flavorful and fruitful. Unlike some other places where we get a little bit of greenness potentially in
Yeah.
Cabernet Sauvignon, we never had that there. So
Do you think that's
that's a
because it
special site.
was that because it could ripen? Or do you think
Yeah,
that was just yeah, it had enough heat?
it had the heat and the it was never an issue to get sugar accumulation and the tannins. We could leave it without it over ripening so that the
Right.
tannins would come together.
Right. So climate change.
Mm.
What's going on?
Climate change variation, I guess. So we've had a lot of hot years, 21, 23. And then we had coal damage in 22 and 24. So we've kind of running the gamut in the last
Kind of
5
like
years or so. Yeah.
kind of like that. It's not even like a little bit of like a wave. It's like shock,
Yes,
shock,
exactly. And
death.
then,
Ugh.
and now with, not a lot of snowfall. So we're in risk of
Ugh.
drought. And so things
Yeah.
are, it's definitely something where we're trying to manage all of the climate factors that are affecting things.
How do we do that?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to figure it out. We're
Yeah.
trying to manage vineyards differently, so we're more sustainable, obviously not using as much water and so on, but we need to, in years like this, we're still reducing by 20% what we're
Yeah.
using year over
Yeah.
year, but just to maintain the health of the vines, trying to keep things cooler. And then with the cold, uh, trying to manage that is a very difficult thing because some of the vineyards, there's really nothing we can do. If there's a lot of wind, we can't do anything about
Yeah.
helping with temperature. So basically, what we have to do is make sure the vines are the utmost healthy that they can be so that they can
Yeah.
survive.
So what do you do to make a healthy vine? Do you leave cover crop or do is there some nutrients or like is there something that you
We do all of those things. So cover crop, making sure we're using legumes in our cover crop as well as others to enrich the soils so they can uh, bind nitrogen. And then mainly that's the way we use a little bit of compost as well to also enrich the soils. And then nutrient. We don't fertilize so much. We do some fertigation, so through our irrigation lines, trying to avoid compaction with driving tractors and
Yeah.
obviously using fossil fuels with our tractors. And then combining foliar nutrients when we need to with any sprays that we need to keep pests at bay, like mildews and so on.
Have you
We,
pursued a certification of any kind around sustainable farming or
we are working at this moment towards getting everything together for sustainable wine growing British Columbia certification.
oh,
But
you're
that
in the
takes,
right crowd. It's
yeah,
a
it
lot of
takes a
work.
bit of time.
Yeah. But valuable effort in the direction of
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's essential. And, basically we do everything that would make us certifiable, but
right,
we just have to get
right,
all our ducks in a row and
right, right. Well,
paperwork done and so on.
paperwork.
Hmm.
It's
One of the
this,
bad things about
yeah,
this.
yeah, it's like just leave me alone. Okay, so do you have any old vintages of reds left for people to try? Or is this a kind of you've got a pretty big wine club. Like
Yeah,
I
we
heard
do
there's
have a
two
big
wine
wine club.
clubs actually.
We do have two. We have Club 7, which is our still wine club, and we have a Seven Stars wine club, which is our sparkling wine club. We do have quite a few members in each of them. Combined, there's probably about 1,800 plus.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's a
crazy. I
lot
mean, that's
for a
wonderful.
smaller winery.
Yep.
And we do have some back vintages, and we do release every once in a while some back vintages. So for September this year, we'll probably release some of the back vintage reds from 2014. That's
Ooh.
what we're
Well,
looking at.
that will be fun. Have you ever done kind of those vertical tastings where you've got from the time you arrived until ta-da-da?
Yes, we do those kind of tastings with wine club members. So we have seminars and so on where we look back, or winemakers dinners where we bring them out. So we've had a couple of seminars. We did a couple of years ago, one for Syrah all the way back from 2002 to present time. So that was really interesting and giving people an opportunity to purchase those wines for themselves. So
Yeah,
that kind of thing. So we'll be doing some more of that for sure.
that's marvelous. I feel like having a 1,400 or 1,800 person wine club, but like you don't have I don't know how many cases of wine do you make in a year? And I know it fluctuates, but like
Yeah, it
there's,
does. It goes between 8 and 12,000
yeah.
cases a year. So
And
yeah,
do you consider
most
that a small winery then?
yeah, anything 10,000 or less small in my mind. I mean, we don't bring in a lot of uh, less than 200 tons of fruit or around there, so it's not huge.
Yeah.
And then we're small building, small team with many
Compact.
hats. Yeah, and
Yeah.
efficient.
Yeah. So, is there a favorite grape that you like to work with? Favorite grape variety, or are you more of a chemistry kind of like conducting an orchestra in the cellar?
It's a,
where do you catch on fire? Like,
I think it's a combination of science and art for me. I mean, I don't know if I have a favorite grape variety. It's like asking which of your children is your favorite. I don't have
yeah,
a favorite
yeah,
wine, but each one offers you something different
yeah,
and a different challenge some years and
yeah,
has has happened. So, figuring out what you need to do for that particular
yeah,
grape that year is the interesting bit. So it means it's different every year.
yeah. And the most challenging vintage?
Um, Probably 24.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
for those people who are listening who maybe don't know, in 2024, we lost 95%.
Yeah. So
95%
we,
of our crop. This is what they're going through in PEI at the moment with the oyster beds and in Nova Scotia. 95% of the oyster beds are in trouble.
we wiped out. They're also having problems with potatoes in PEI right now. So
Wow.
yeah, so 2024, we had no grapes in the Okanagan. We did get a harvest from our South Langley location. So we had Chardonnay and Pinot Noir that we made sparkling with, but otherwise nothing. So we did purchase some grapes from Washington and California and made small amounts of wines that look are excellent. You know,
Yes,
they
and to
look
be
really, really
clear,
good.
crafted in British Columbia
Yeah.
isn't isn't cheating, it isn't stealing, it isn't faking wine. It is how the industry survived
Yes,
when we
exactly.
had no fruit. And the government, like, it's okay, there's some things that have happened since then, but I mean, the idea was to help farmers continue
Businesses
because
stay
without,
alive. Yeah.
yeah,
And which it
yes,
did for us. And we were grateful that we were allowed to do that because obviously these grapes were purchased a long time ago in 2024, before any of the issues that we're having, political issues we feel like we're having now. So it was a different time, and we brought the fruit to our winery here on the Naramata Bench, and we made the wine here with our team to keep our team employed and also to keep our tasting room staff employed to have wine to
right.
sell. So that,
So important, so vital.
mhm.
And I love that you also made new friends across the line.
Yes, yes, some really nice people we met who were
Really?
very helpful.
Right.
Yeah,
Not, it really tells you many things. And that is that what we see in the news and what we hear about all the time isn't kind of typical for the people that we work with across the border. People who
no,
love wine and make wine, these are craftspeople, these are farmers, these are like really good people, just like I think we are.
yeah,
So I love
absolutely.
I love that. Probably friends forever. And if they would probably love us to buy more of their grapes because
Yeah.
there's also a crisis globally around this conversation of wine, grapes, farming, glut. Like,
Absolutely.
where are we going?
Well, I'm gonna just have to have some patience and wait around, and things will supposedly turn around by 2028, 2029 is what they're saying, but who knows?
Well, we're going to have this chat then. We'll circle back. Okay, how's it going? But another note, so Sustainable Wines of British Columbia, Severine Pant is the chairperson, and she was on, and she was talking about the thing that's missing for most of us is, well, we had COVID,
Mhm.
right? And we're all locked in. Then we get out, then we go back in. Then
Yeah,
we get out, the weather changes, and then fires, and then there's cold, and then there's like frost. And anyway, it's been a strange 8 years, but she was like, wine brings people together,
absolutely.
and we must continue to spread the word. Wine is not alcohol, wine is food, wine is how we sit together, wine is meditation, wine is a conversation.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, on that topic, my assistant winemaker was looking up alcohol and how to drink, and AI was actually saying alcohol is not good for you, but wine is not considered alcohol on AI. So I'm like, perfect. And it's good
Let's
for you in moderation.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's spread that word around
Yeah.
because when I sit around a table and have a lovely dish, even for example, what would you serve with this rosé? I mean, you probably have thought about that.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it would be really nice with a pasta dish that's got some mussels in it or
Mm.
seafood of some sort.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's super dry. I think
Hmm.
it could hold up to some nice brie, or even like, you know how they have that triple cream brie with the line of tartufo in the,
Yeah.
ah,
Yes. Or that, what is the other one? The truffled manchego.
yeah, manchego, isn't that delicious? I love
Hmm.
cheese. Yeah, I must be hungry. That's what I'm thinking about now.
Yeah.
So you're, are you inspired? And who inspires you?
Um, I think lots of people, um, people who are passionate about what they're doing, like Sev
Yeah.
just spoke about, and some others who are really, you know, understand how these kind of things work together. How the land and the soil and the vineyard can all come together to make this product that we can share and we can have with friends and family, and it brings us all together in the best way. So those are kind of things that I like to think about what we're doing, and why I make wine is because people can have it together, share it, and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing. That's what we need more of, more coming together.
More coming together as family size shrinks, as everything's changing. Like everything is changing all around us. I
Mhm.
still celebrate a table with food and people who want to sit together and just sip and explore and discover. You know, we could make everything about, I'm curious what this is and what it goes with. Then it's all an adventure.
Mhm.
So I feel like it's not over for us, and I feel like it's not over for wine. And when I think about history, you know, wine has been around for thousands of years. So I think for
Absolutely.
me, that's inspiration too.
Mhm.
Anyway, are you itching to go? You are so busy, and I really appreciate all the time that you've given. You have any questions for me or any thoughts you want to add? You want to talk about women on your team or
Yeah. Um, we have lots of women working for us on the winemaking team. It tends to be more of the guys that I have working for me,
well,
so
there's
that's okay. But our tasting room managers and people
wine
on the
club
floor,
manager.
yeah, Christina, wine club manager, tasting room manager in Naramata, that woman who takes care of the vineyard in Langley, Erica,
I met her.
fantastic and
Yes.
dedicated and passionate. So,
Yes.
you know, uh, they're all terrific, terrific
Yeah.
to work
That
with.
was my impression. They're like, well, so
Hmm.
welcoming. And any questions you have, and they're wearing all the hats. Like, oh, I
Yep.
work in the vineyard, but here I am in the tasting room. And can I tell you about this wine? And oh, why don't you sit down here? And oh, we have a big group coming in. And I'm just like, oh, but how
Yep.
dynamic. How many people
Yep.
would love to have, like, I don't want to sit in front of my computer all day. I want to be out doing things. So,
Yeah. People want to do a bunch of different things. It keeps them
yeah.
stimulated in their jobs. And that's what we all do, I think. Many different things. Sometimes too much computer time, but no, we can avoid that by walking out into the vineyard, having a look. So,
Any great life lessons?
oh, geez.
I know. You're on the spot.
I don't know about that. Life lessons. I think
Or
for me, the best thing that I get out of uh, this job and this career is working with people. And uh, this has become my broader family. The people I work
yes.
with are fantastic. And just, trying to help out people uh, any way we can within our group or others. And I think that's the main thing that I've come to see is that, it's worth it to spend time to see what people's strengths and weaknesses are and how we can help them and where we can get them to go. And that's kind of the philosophy we have around here is helping people get to where they want to be.
Sounds like mentorship.
Hmm, something like that.
Sounds like a nice family. I'd want to be a part of that one.
Yeah, well, I think we like it. Everyone seems pretty happy, so it's good.
So,
Working out.
where do we find you? We find you on the Naramata Bench at Township 7 at the back area of the tasting room. So the tasting room everyone can visit. It's open every day of the week.
Yes, 11
What is
till
it?
6 right now,
11 to
um,
6.
during the summer, and then it goes once kids are back in school. I think it's 11 till 5, and then just on the weekends in January when it's a little bit quieter around here.
So stop by the winery,
Please do.
enjoy
Yeah,
some wine, try all the bottles, buy some wine, join the wine club.
you got it.
And when you're there, if Mary's around, wave.
Yep. Sometimes I get to come out and say hi.
Yeah. Well, I hope you do a winemaker dinner in Kelowna soon or at some point, maybe in the fall, but we'll talk about that. But it would be
Okay.
super fun, especially
Yeah,
because we've got an oyster bar and we've got bubbles. So, yum
sounds
yum.
good.
Thank you so much for joining me today
You're welcome. Thanks for
and
having me.
enjoy Happy Canada Day.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Go
Yep.
Canada, go. And we'll talk to you real soon. Take care, Mary.
You too.